What is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 281. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez,
What's up, people? How's it going?
Chris Seeley,
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero,
Yo, yo, yo.
and Brian Manjoma.
Yo, Capcom, where's our Dark Crisis remake?
Oh, man. What is going on, man? We're back with another one, man. You already know. Now, am I fully ready? I'm not fully ready yet, but I will vamp a little bit. So even though the show's actually a little bit earlier today, just for whatever reasons, I started it a little bit late on the back end because remember how, if you guys heard the last show, I was talking about how I'm like, yo, I think I'm going to try to get the plat in God of War, man. And I'm on my way to doing that, so I started a little bit late on my end, man. All day, son. I've been on this shit.
Oh,
So was it glitched?
No. It wasn't. Thankfully, it wasn't glitched. Okay, so for you guys who weren't watching, the little mini adventure I had on Twitter today, it was like a good 2 hours of this. So basically, on the map, right, the world map of Midgar, it said Midgard. Excuse me, not Midgar. Midgar is Final Fantasy.
yo, man.
Gotta add the duh in there. Good duh. My fucking iPad's back in the background. Look, I'm a fucking traitor. Look at this shit. Anyway, so the map of Midgar said, that I had 39 out of 43 ravens. I'm like, okay, but like when I go to the individual sections, it says 100%. What the fuck? So people were telling me like, oh, this shit is glitch. You got to do this, that, and the other thing. And I forgot her name, but there was this girl on Twitter, and she was like, you got to go to the docks and see if any of them have anything undiscovered. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't try that. So I go to the docks, and sure enough, some of them had undiscovered shit. So I went to her name is Nikki Crossing. Oh, sure! Shout out to her. So she was like, "Yeah, just go to the docks." So I went to each individual dock. I went to whichever ones had undiscovered. Sure enough, there were the ravens. All the ravens I needed, the 4 ravens. And as a matter of fact, there's one spot. It was like the island of the ancients or whatever. It didn't have anything. No like collectibles or nothing. It was just blank. I'm like, that's kind of weird. So I go there. And it said that I had already, not said, it showed there was an open chest. I'm like, okay, I've been here before. And I was like, out of curiosity, let me look up, because I had the volume off. I had some music playing in the background. I looked up, there's a fucking bird. I'm like, oh shit, the last one is right there. Kill it, get the trophy. But here's the funny thing, and I posted this on Twitter too. It still says I have 42 out of 43 birds, even though I got all 51 for the entire game. Weird shit. So anyway, So I did that. So I spent the whole day getting all of that, everything. And now I'm doing the thing I don't want to do, but I'm actually making good headway in the Miss Echo shit. Doing that. What's going on, Goose? So
the Miss Echoes?
Yeah, so I've been fucking farming that shit, and I already beat one of the bosses, or because there's like 3 bosses you got to fight all together, or 3 encounters or whatever. So I did one, I unlocked the second one, and I have way more than enough echoes for the next one. Only thing is, I didn't realize is you need these fucking apples or something. You got to go deep into that shit, because my plan was like, oh, I'm just gonna hang around the opening areas a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just farm, cheapy little things and just get them. And I had way more than enough echoes. I'm like, why isn't this shit unlocking? And then it turns like, oh, I need these fucking apples. So you pretty much have to go deep into that shit. Like go through because there's like giant, super giant rooms all the way back in the back. So I have to find them. They're somewhere in there. Here's the actual challenge of the mist shit. Not the actual enemy challenges, but getting lost. I'm like, I don't know how to get back, bruh.
Yeah.
I get
that
fucking
part was
lost.
just a pain in the ass, just getting lost. The amount of times that I got like really badly lost,
Yeah.
it got to the point where I said, okay, from now on, I'll just turn right. Everywhere I go, I'll turn right, and then when I come back, I just keep turning left, and then I'll get home safely. And yeah, that seemed to work. Yeah,
Really?
getting lost is a pain. Well, that's the thing. It's a maze, right? So like the best way to get out of any maze, just put a hand on the wall and don't let your hand touch the wall. So don't let your hand off the wall, and you will get out eventually. So I just applied the same thing. So I said, okay, since I'm going to just go in, I'll just keep turning right and just make sure that there's no right entrance that I ever come across. So that way I just keep my right hand on the wall get like halfway through, and then on the way back, I put the left hand on the wall, and then just keep following the left hand side, and then eventually you'll get there.
Yeah. By the way, Goose, yes, I am wearing Ivaldi's armor. I got the full 3 pieces. I didn't get them all upgraded, but I do have all that armor. That armor
that protects you from the
helps
mist, right?
a lot. It helps a lot. But yeah, no, my main thing is I keep getting lost. Apparently, I think what I noticed, I could be wrong about this, and Goose, you could correct me. You know, Brian, remember those big kind of monster statues or something? They're only
Yes.
they're only near the beginning, so I keep following those, and those kind of mostly lead me the right way. You know?
Yep, those are around the center. So as long as you get to them, then you're close to the center, so you can sort of find your way around, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, all I need right now is just one more fucking apple, and I'm good. You know, I'll get that platinum, baby.
You already
Nice.
beat all the Valkyries?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I defeated half of them. My nephew defeated the other half. You know, he came over. This was last year, by the way. This is literally last year. He came over from North Carolina, and he was bored and shit, and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna play God of War." I'm like, "Beat the fucking Valkyries for me, bro." You know. So he did that. Not only he did that, and then he did all of the Muspelheim shit. So I'm like, "Oh, I could just get the collectibles now," but I didn't do it at the time. But now, let's just be real. We got with the Rona going on, video gaming is slow. I don't have as much to do. I'm like, fuck it. God of War, man. Let's go. So, by this time tomorrow, I'm gonna be having that plat, baby. My first plat of the year. You know, I don't get as many plats as I used to, man, but I still got a respectable amount. You know, what games are you talking about? God of War, man. We're talking about God of War right now. You know,
that game from like 2 years ago.
yeah, man. But anyway, so that's my little adventure. Again, if you guys saw my little epic thing on Twitter, you could check that out. You know, it's just funny. Even Manny, he's replying. Yeah, I saw you replying to like an older tweet. You know, because there was a lot of them. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not fully looking at Twitter right now. I
Yeah.
got a lot of other things going on.
How you holding up, man? Let the people know if you're okay with that.
I'm doing okay. I got very sick not too long after I made the journey up to go to try to handle my mom's affairs earlier in the month, and my girlfriend she recovered really quickly, but I have been running the gamut of a pretty heavy heavy stuff going on, but I'm doing better now. It's just I know everybody out there, you're trying to stay safe, but make sure you do not like. I've actually been diagnosed, and I did have or did have the virus, and you guys do not want that shit, man. Like rolling fevers, trouble breathing, loss of taste, everything, and it's just like only like the on the 20 on the last Tuesday, everything sort of cleared up. Like I was able to get out of bed and had an appetite again. All my bodily functions started to activate. It was like my body just came back to life. But man, it was pretty heavy the weeks going toward. It's part of the reason why on the previous episode of Throwdown Your Questions, where I kind of cut out halfway through because I was just feeling at that halfway point, I was just feeling really, really, really bad.
Yeah, well, yeah. So it's official. You did get the fucking C virus then.
I haven't had the actual test.
Yeah.
But on the weekend, I called up. We here in Pennsylvania, we have this essentially where if you can't visit the doctor, they can have do a video chat where the doctor sees you, asks you to breathe, they ask you to do all this stuff, you tell them all the different things, and they're like, yeah, it sounds like you got it. So best thing I can say to you, stay home, and if it gets any worse, call the emergency room, and and they'll do what they need. She's like, you can go, and I can set you up with a thing to go get tested, but it's like at this point, it's like you pretty much have everything, that you have all the different symptoms that are associated with this. So, you can go for peace of mind, but really, yeah. So,
yeah, I wouldn't bother with that, to be honest.
I mean,
and the thing is, go ahead.
If anything,
Yeah.
I would probably want to see after I'm fully through this, maybe because there's a blood test that you can get to see if you have if you actually had it, that you don't need to stick the thing into your nose and all that other crazy stuff.
I mean, obviously, I'm not a fucking doctor, but what gave it away to me was like you and your girlfriend had the same symptoms at the exact same time, and she recovered faster than you. And we learned, and literally the day after, we learned that it stays with men longer because of our testicles and stuff. Like, oh fuck, yeah, you guys definitely got it.
And he's just coming back from New York too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They both got it. New York is like a fucking petri dish. Apparently, this isn't the Rona thing report, but apparently New York has like 21% of our population has it. Think about that. It's fucking nuts, Yeah. But we're glad like I told you, like if you can make it, great. If you can't, not. But we're glad you're here, man. However you can. And also, since you're here, and I keep forgetting to do this, but I'm going to do this now. I keep doing it at the end of the show. I got to do it at the front of the show. You set up a GoFundMe for your mom, right? And so I'm going to drop the link in here for you guys on Twitch. If you guys could contribute in any way, that'd be fantastic. We'd really appreciate that. And then speaking for myself and Chris and even Adam, she was like another mom to us too. So it would definitely mean a lot, not just to Manny, but also to most of us here. So if you got whatever you guys can give, please. And if not, at least spread the word. Whatever you can. Really appreciate that. All right. And with that said, let us move on to some other stuff. But before we move on, to talk about games, so we're gonna have a Throwdown special, people. We haven't done one of these in 2 years. It's funny because we're talking about God of War, right? We're talking about God of War for the PlayStation 4, and that was. Did I cut out? You guys hear me? Uh-oh.
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stay tuned.
Look out! Quick, get it back up! Hurry! Are we all clear? Oh, okay, we're all clear. Great. All right, hit the red button. No, not that button!
And now, Freakazoid.
It looks like
I thought he was coming.
He has a lot. I don't know if he's moving or something. There's a lot of clutter in his fucking shit right now.
Oh, we're live. We're live.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're live, people. We're back, man. You're fucking bullshit. Technical difficulties, man. To that, we were just saying, like, fucking, like 2020 is a shitty year, man. So what happened right now is Discord for me decided to shit the bed. So we're using Google right now. So forgive the shitty graphics, and forgive me being mirrored because apparently I can't do anything about it. So this is reverse Tony, whatever. I'm very glad I'm symmetrical. You know what I'm saying? Like that would have been bad. Like I got a very symmetrical face. Like, you know what I'm saying? My mirror image looks like the real me. I'm not all like,
Yeah, like your eyes all sagging down or some shit.
Yeah, like I'm looking at myself and I'm like, yeah, I look the same, mirrored or normal, so that's good, but my PlayStation it's not the PlayStation, thank God. That would have been fun. Like, what's up with that logo, Tony?
Is it the new PS5 logo?
Yeah, right.
It's just Bizarro PS5 logo.
Yeah. So as I was saying, before we were rudely interrupted, if you guys, if you haven't already, please, donate to Manny's mom's, the GoFundMe he set up for her. And if you can't donate monetarily, spread the word. You know what I'm saying? Anything helps, right, Manny?
Yeah, anything helps. I'm not the type of person to be like asking for handouts and just keep on asking and stuff like that. If you could donate, donate, and if you can pass it along, to spread the word out, that also helps me too. And it's a crazy time out here. Like I just to tell you how just to be able to do this during these horrible times, it's bad enough losing my mom during all of this, but it's even worse that because now you can't go to a funeral home because they're all filled with the sheer amount of people that have died. You can't be with your family because there's no social gatherings. It's just a lot. So I would just thank you if you can.
Yeah, definitely appreciate that. All right, and then the other thing I have to bring back up is that by the time you guys are watching, I mean, you guys obviously in the chat are not privy to this right now, but for the guys watching, we are going to, or have already had, our Final Fantasy VII spoiler alert, people. So if you haven't seen it yet, it is going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern on Friday, which is today, and it's going to be good. And also, again, I just find it funny because we were just talking about God of War at the top of the show. That was literally the last spoiler alert we did, so it'll be cool to bring that show back. So it's going to be me and a couple other friends, Jonathan Gibbs, Gary Swaby, and Ryan Meitzler. Jonathan we never had on the show, but we've had, the other guys on the show before. Ryan a long time ago. It's been a long, long time since we had him on Throwdown, Same thing with Gary, I guess.
So was Gary able to get over his issues he was having with his 4 and? Yeah.
Apparently, Gary. If you guys didn't watch his Twitter, he was having some issues with his PS4. Like basically, what happened is there was like a brownout or something in, because he lives near London, I believe, and there was a brownout or something. There's a couple other people. Brian, did you have anything like that happen where you live?
No, but again, last time I played was God of War, so I've not really been using it that often.
I mean, you didn't have a brownout period though, like in your area.
There was like a couple of weeks back, but ever since then it's been fine.
Yeah, because I also saw a couple other, people, near, I guess in the London area, which is a lot big, like having some issues, but not everybody. But so basically what happened is he was playing his game. He's on the last level, which is chapter 18, and the power cuts out on him. And obviously, when that happens, your PlayStation 4 has to like reformat itself or whatever, rebuild the database, all that shit. And he got what is apparently called the white light of death on the PlayStation 4. I'm like, what the fuck? But apparently everything worked out in the end, so he was able to finish the game. So we're going to be having a very deep discussion about that one. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, stay tuned. That's going to be Friday, 5 p.m., man. We're going to do this one a little early because we want to we're going to take our time with it. It's going to be nuts, And without further ado, let us go over some news. And stuff happened this week, people. It's crazy. Also, it's something we haven't done in a while. NPDs, man. I don't know if it's me missing NPDs or they haven't been posting them, but we haven't done NPDs in a long time, which is crazy because that's been a staple of Throwdown since the beginning, But NPDs are back, so let us run down the top games of March 2020. So no surprise here, the number one game of the month, Animal Crossing, the game everybody's talking about on Twitter.
The game of the generation.
Apparently, and we talked about this before. It's kind of the game kind of is good for some people at this time, given everything that's happening. It's like they could just zone out playing some fucking little farming sim or whatever. So that's kind of cool for them. But of course, on the flip side, the number 2 game, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the one that came out last year.
Man, again.
Interesting, man. All right, number 3, MLB The Show. Listen, baseball ain't coming back, man. Like this year, I don't think any sports are coming back this year. Actually, if you think about it,
No, I mean, they all need social gathering, man.
Yeah, social distancing.
And they're not doing like the WWF.
I was about to say that. Like, I was wondering about that. Like, can't you have like the Yankees doing their thing? But here's the thing. I answered my own question. I just realized, like, okay, you could have social distancing by just having like the Yankees like beating the shit out of the Astros or something. But then their social gathering, and they could possibly get the Rona. So you don't want to put the players in jeopardy.
Exactly, because they only I mean, I guess the way the WWF gets away with it, every single person is probably stringently, screened so that they can wrestle in, in that room.
Yeah, exactly. So since there's no baseball, unfortunately, MLB The Show is your game, and that is the number 3 game of March. Number 4 is Resident Evil 3. I'm a little surprised by that. I thought it was going to be a little bit higher, but then again, the first 3 are such big monsters. I guess that makes sense. MLB always does good, and Call of Duty you already know that's going to be on there until the next Call of Duty. like always, speaking about sports games or sports video games, taking place of real games. NBA 2K20, number 5.
Real quick.
Yeah, what up?
Resident Evil 3 came out April 3rd. So,
how the hell is it on March?
I don't know.
Hey, listen, I'm just reading the list, bro.
let me look up the Wikipedia. Yeah, April 3rd, 2020. Maybe someone sold it earlier, and
that has been documented with some places. I don't know about Resident Evil, but I know Final Fantasy VII that happened. But hey, it's on here, bro.
But I mean, Resident Evil was in Australia and those places. That's not going to show up on NPDs. So
America.
pretty
America.
interesting. Maybe pre-orders. I don't know.
All right, we got Doom Eternal, number 6. Number 7 is Persona 5 Royal. Not Royale, as Riku corrected us. Yo,
It's not Royale.
Yo, Brian, number 8, man. Guess. Oh man, GTA 5, man. Like, GTA 5, it'll go down and it'll come right back up.
Even during the pandemic, kids are still turning 16.
That's right, man. Can't stop the circle of life, bro.
Yep.
So we got. What's up?
You know what would be like really bad? If GTA 5 is still in the NPDs to come next gen.
Oh, I believe
it will.
Oh, it will.
It will be.
So then it's been like in the top 10 for like a whole generation.
No, Brian, I'm about to fuck you up right now, son. It's already been on NPDs for 2 generations.
No, I mean like the span of like a whole generation, like from
before
the generation has started to afterward, it's still in the top 10.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. But think about it. Overall, it's going to be on NPDs for 3 generations.
That's weird.
It's true though, you know.
It has been on the NPDs for NPDs for 3 generations.
All right, number 9.
Look at its muscles.
Yep. This one's kind of cool. Borderlands 3 and number 9. But again, by the way, just before you say that, but again, since I haven't seen NPDs in a bunch of months, I don't know if it's just been there the entire time, you know? Anyway, what are you going to say about Borderlands 3?
Man, that game just came and went, man. No one's talking about this.
Motherfuckers buying it, though. You know?
Yeah, they're buying it. I just haven't heard any. I forgot it even came out.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. Like, I remember there was a bunch of hype for this game, and then when it dropped, no one talked about it again. You know, but every person I've talked to, you know, about the game, they like it. They think it's great. You know, interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
it's like I just find it weird because you know, not Persona, fucking Animal Crossing, Final Fantasy, not Borderlands, Doom, and all those games are getting like their shine. Resident Evil 3, and it's like nothing from Borderlands 3. At least it's selling though.
It's selling though, you know. All right, number 10, Mario Kart 8. It's like, yo,
man,
holy shit.
Neo 2, number 11. Number 12, Red Dead Redemption 2, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Number 13, this is for Adam right here, FIFA 20. And for you too, Carlos. El FIFA.
I gotta have some.
Got Super Smash Brothers, number 14. We got number 15 is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Rescue Team DX. Okay. Number 16, Madden. No football this year either, it looks like. It's just fucking bad, bro. Fuck this year. Number 17, Just Dance 2020. They still make these games, people.
Yeah, they do pretty well for them. I know. Yeah. I'm sure they don't make a lot of. I'm sure it doesn't take a lot to make them either.
No, but I think it's one of those games that just makes them a shit ton of money. But so much money they don't even need to advertise it that hard. You know?
No, I mean it's just like it's already in the zeitgeist as a thing that people sort of like to play. You know, it's like a party game, and they just keep throwing it out. Don't need a lot of advertising on it. Doesn't need a lot of development time or. You know, they just film a bunch of people and then just have you do the dance. You're doing most of the work on your own. So
yeah, pretty much. Number 18, we got Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I don't know if that game's just been perpetually on there or not. Mortal Kombat 11, number 19, and number 20, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. Didn't that shit just drop like a week ago?
Yeah. Well, no, not a week ago, but not that far off.
In April.
How are these April games sneaking in here, man?
Did everybody just break street date because of the Rona? Like,
yeah.
Fuck it.
I scrolled up. I scrolled up to the headline just to make sure we're reading from the right month. Yeah.
Yes, it's March.
March 20, and it was posted on April 21st. Interesting, man. Now, what was the top selling console? I'm pretty sure it was the Switch.
Probably.
Yeah. March. I'm just from Venture Beat, by the way. March wasn't a good month to anyone. No, March. By the way, I'm going to say this. I'm thankful that April is moving fast because March, and I don't use this word very lightly, March was literally 10 years long.
You're not lying, man.
Tell me that shit didn't last forever, man. Like,
That shit took fucking centuries, man.
you know, and the other day I was like, oh shit, it's April 18th already. Good. You know, like somebody's God or whatever is finally hitting fast forward on this fucking terrible year, you know? Get off your ass, Jesus, you know?
Man, this month, man, I think I beat 3 games this month.
Excuse me?
Shit, it took me like fucking, yeah. It took me forever to beat 3 games last year.
Man. All right, so yeah, March was not a good month for anyone, but it was slightly less awful for people who sell video games. That's especially true if the video game is Animal Crossing New Horizons, with people in the United States isolating themselves for much of the month. Many people obviously turned to safe at-home entertainment. As a result, consumers in the U.S. spent $1.597 billion on gaming hardware, new games, and accessories, plus game cards, according to the March 2020 NPD report. Ooh, okay, that is the most March money. I think he wrote that wrong. I'm just gonna read it as he wrote it. This is the most March money. Okay, I can't read it like that. This is the most money March. I can't even read that either. This is the most March money the industry has generated in NPD's reporting since 1.8 billion in 2008. Interesting. Okay, I can't let this go. This is the most money that a March has had in the industry since 2008. There we go. I edited that shit. I couldn't do it. My brain is exploding.
Yo, man, you writing the chirons in your brain, man?
Yeah, I'm editing on the fly, man. I can't. This is why I'm a writer, because that kind of shit just sticks with me. All right, so yeah, 2008, Chris. What do you make of that? That's fucking 12 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I can't figure it because I don't remember when the recession started in 2008. I was thinking that
wasn't
may
it
have
during
been a
the summer?
factor.
Wasn't it during the summer?
It might have been during the summer, so things might have been good at that
Yeah.
point before things came down. So
Yeah.
that's possibly why. Now we have a freaking Rona going around and everybody's stuck at home. So I'm sure digital sales shot up and consoles went because people are stuck in the house. You know.
Yeah, for sure. All right, dollar sales of tracked video game software grew 34% in March compared to a year ago to 739 million, said Matt Piscatella. March tracked software spending reached its highest total for a March month since 2011. 9 of the top 10 best-selling games of 2020 generated higher dollar sales than similarly ranked titles a year ago. Oh, geez. So you're telling me games sell when there's a fucking epidemic and we got to stay home? I wonder why they had to cancel The Last of Us 2. Just saying, you know?
Man.
Come on, man. Yo, that game would do gangbusters right now, even more so, you know?
Fucking Final Fantasy VII Remake is doing crazy numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Animal Crossing is breaking records.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
It's we're gonna put a pin on that because we're gonna get back to that subject in a bit. All right, I think we will talk about that. I think we're done there, people, with NPDs. Actually, hold on. Top 10 games of the year. Let's go for that. Let's have some fun. Top 10 games of the year so far this year. Call of Duty, no surprise there. Animal Crossing, it's already it's number 2. You guys are watching me on camera like confused.
Yo, man, what happened?
Okay. Number 3, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
What?
It's the third best-selling game of the year.
Oh shit.
Okay. By the way, I reviewed Kakarot for PC Mag and Geek.com. I didn't like that game very much. All right, number 4. It's not a good game, man. I'm sorry. It's not a good game. But motherfuckers like their Dragon Ball Z.
Well, I mean, it's like anything that's put out by Namco Bandai that's based on an anime. You just throw a franchise on it, and people just buy it like crazy.
Yeah. When I saw this, I was like, Dragon Ball Z Fighters is back, and I'm like, oh wait, it's Kakarot. Yo, by the way, it feels like I reviewed that game 15 years ago. That was this fucking year? Wow. Holy shit. Anyway, number 4, NBA 2K. Number 5, MLB The Show. Number 6, best-selling game of 2020 so far.
How's that possible?
Oh my god, man! By the way, since we haven't done NPDs in a long time, for you new listeners, every time we're talking about NPDs and I call to Brian, it's always because it's GTA 5. That's our inside joke. Yeah, Brian, number 6, GTA 5. Man, I don't get it.
It's 2020. I swear it's been like 20 years since GTA 5 came out.
Well, if you add in the 10 years that March lasted, yeah, it has been 20 years. You know, if my math is correct. By the way, I don't put the dot. I don't dot my I's and shit on math because I don't fucking get it anyway. Number 7, Resident Evil 3. All right. Number 8, Madden NFLs. Number 9, Mario Kart 8. All right, that's another one. And number 10, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Interesting.
No crazy games coming out of nowhere, like from like 100 years ago. You know, like
Check.
like all of a sudden Pac-Man just shows up on there for some fucking reason.
Here's one interesting thing. If you check out the top 10 games of the past 12 months, because top 10 games of the year so far only count up to March, right? So top 10 games of the last 12 months, it looks almost the same as the top 10 games of the year, just rearranged, except for Borderlands 3, number 4.
Well, Kakarot's not in there either.
No, it's not. I got to look into more Borderlands 3 because, this game is stealthily a fucking huge hit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Shit. Everything about this game is stealthily now.
Right? Damn, man. All right, MLB, that shows the top PlayStation game. No surprise there. Exclusive the top one is for Switch is Animal Crossing, obviously, and Xbox, since it has no exclusives, it's Call of Duty. What? It doesn't. Come on, let's keep it real. Oh man! All right, let's move on here. So, I guess the biggest story of the week was the Xbox Series X logo.
Oh, they do, Ray.
They released a new logo. That's literally it. That's literally it.
Did people's minds melt as much as they did with the PlayStation 5 logo?
Manny, why don't you take a guess? You think people went that's crazy?
I don't think so.
Yeah, they didn't. Nope. It was newsworthy for sure, but people didn't really go nuts.
People's imaginations weren't for some reason thrown for a loop by the white letters on the black background that was the PlayStation 5 logo, right?
Yeah, Series X.
So I haven't seen it yet, so let's see.
Yeah, it's a very minimalist type of thing going on.
Maybe it'll blow me back like one of those Memorex commercials, remember? Where the guy sits down in the seat and he turns the stereo on. And
was it Memorex or was it Magnavox?
Magnavox, yeah, it was Magnavox.
Yeah. Man, anybody under 35, I don't think is going to get that reference. Brian and Carl's there like, what the fuck are they talking about?
I know Magnavox, but Memorex, I don't think I've had.
Yeah, but do you know the commercial we're referencing?
Oh no.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Basically, just imagine like a dude sitting on his sofa, right? Big leather sofa. By the way, it's a completely back room, right? So it's just him, and he's in front of his Magnavox, right? It was like a radio or whatever, and it's just blasting music at him. You see, his hair, he didn't have really long hair, but he's just being blown back by the power of the music. Very famous commercial from the 80s. It was the 80s, right? Yeah, it was the 80s.
Oh, so it's just this series and then X on it?
Yeah. By the way, Manny's coughing. He's not laughing. Just so you guys know. Because motherfuckers are, laughing at the logo, the illest logo you ever seen in our life. You fucking ponies.
Damien just woke up.
Damien's like, they talking shit about Xbox Series X.
It's a Series X. It kind of looks like something you'd see on the box of Area 51 or something. Or it's like a ability that it has.
Yeah.
Now with a Series X.
Yeah, yo, Goose, Golden Crust, son. Oh God. I don't really have anything to say about this. This is a logo,
It's a. I guess it's what you could do with an X in a series.
I'm surprised it's not green.
It's black.
That's black.
Yeah, so maybe everything's changing.
Yeah. By the way, somebody on Twitter just hit me up saying that Discord is indeed down.
Oh, okay. So, well, maybe Discord's got to get to it. They got to call up the devs to see what the fuck would happen.
It's down, Tony, but
not out.
are you?
For me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I mean, granted, like I'm gonna say this, just so for the Xbox fans too, it's like the PlayStation 5 logo is just literally just the PS,
Yeah.
and then a 5 put at the end, and not a lot of imagination there. This at least they did a little something different, but I mean, it's still a little underwhelming.
It looks generic, but it's
generic, but it gets the point across. So I guess success, right?
Yeah, it looks generic, but it's different from whatever Microsoft has had in their branding before. So
yeah.
Yeah, I should say, we're not here saying, oh, this logo looks better than the other. We're saying that they're both equally as bland and unimaginative. Let's just be real here.
They're both equally as underwhelming. I mean, I would have taken that kind of bulging X that they've been using for the Xbox One. I thought that was a lot more interesting. This one just looks like brand X. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
You have the two different
That's another reference young guys are not gonna get.
Anyway, it's like the two different when they put the two they have like a taste test, right, in a commercial, right? They show you whatever they're trying to sell you, and then they have brand X. Brand X is usually whatever the competition is. So it's like blah 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 or brand X, and it's just so
it's hilarious. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about this. It was a big thing. It's our featured image, which hasn't been made yet.
Which will be in the process.
Yeah, we'll make it. We'll do some, yeah, Xbox Series X logo. Yay. All right, speaking about Xbox. What's up, Carlos?
I don't know. Was this on the news or did I dream this up?
With the logo?
No, not the logo. Not the logo. But did they announce that they were gonna do like a Series X show pretty soon?
Did they?
I might have been a dream, man. I could swear.
Hey, if somebody knows about that, let us know in the chat. But I haven't heard about anything. You mean like a event for it or something?
Yeah, I thought I saw something about that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think on Twitter, someone was talking to Phil Spencer, and then he said that he's planning to do something in next month in May. So what that is, I have no one. Well, I don't know. I'll just read through the tweets. I'm like, cool, May. I'll see it when it's on live stream. I don't care at this moment in time.
Yeah, Brian, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, there was.
But it's a rumor. It's weird because it's not official, but it is official. You know what I'm saying? Like, Microsoft didn't make it official, but it came from Phil Spencer, so that makes it official. You know what I'm saying? We're doing something. Vince Vaughn over there. Tell me you don't look like Vince Vaughn, man. All right,
especially with that weird smug smile that he's got.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, yo, this motherfucker's Vince Vaughn, man. All right, so yeah, anyway, next up, speaking about Xbox, so they have another big one coming to Xbox Game Pass. Red Dead Redemption 2, as we were talking about before, coming to Game Pass. 2 years after it came out, I have a bit of a more cynical take on this, so I'll save myself for last, but what do you guys think about this?
I mean, it's cool.
Man, I'm telling you, man. I keep telling you guys, Game Pass. If you haven't played these games and if you're starting fresh, fucking Game Pass is a fucking steal, man. Shit, they have so many freaking games, and you can play all the Microsoft first-party games when they come out. Like I mentioned, I beat 3 games this month, but before that, I beat Ori and the Blind Forest, or not, Ori and the Will of the Wisps using Game Pass. So it's that's like a Game of the Year contender for me.
Damn, it's like that, bro.
Yeah, and Game Pass has some really good ass games. In Red Dead Redemption 2, everyone knows my story. I played 5 hours of it, left on a trip, and never got back to it. So
you can play 50 billion hours of it again now.
Yeah, so Hey, I'm happy for Xbox people. They get to essentially play the game for free if they already paid for the subscription already.
Yeah, why? Like if you got the subscription already, why the hell not download the damn thing?
Yeah,
right.
It's probably gonna take place of your whole hard drive, but it'll be worth it.
Oh yeah, there is that. Well, maybe you have to install the Red Dead Online portion later on.
Oh shit. Yeah, I don't know, because I saw a bunch of people on Twitter talking about this, and they were all excited, like, "Oh my god, this is a huge deal, huge deal." And I'm gonna be real right now, man.
Uh-oh.
I was like, "Is it?"
Oh,
that was my reaction. You know, I was like, "Is it a big deal? Really? Like, you got an old ass game on Game Pass? Like, wow, that's what we're celebrating right now? You know?" I don't know. I mean, again, I could be just being very cynical about this, but I'm like, I don't know. It's like objectively speaking, obviously, I understand why Game Pass is cool and all that, but like, what if you're a person that's just living off Game Pass? Like, you're pretty much not even going to be part of the conversation, unless they're Xbox games, obviously.
But officially, like got like Brian hasn't been a part of the conversation of certain things for quite a while.
Yeah, but
he's doing quite well.
Yeah. Let's just be real though. Let's just be real though. If Brian wants to play Red Dead Redemption 2, he has a better platform to play it on.
I mean, yeah, obviously he can play it on his PC and they run it better. But again, like I know being a part of the conversation, a lot of times it's great and all, but sometimes it just doesn't matter. If you get to, who cares if you get to play the game day one or or 2 years later from when it was released, if you get to play it, right?
Yeah. No, again, objectively speaking, I've always said Game Pass is actually a good thing. Just for me, I'm like, whatever, But the thing is, I could also say that about, those free PSN games, like what they had, Uncharted or something, and Journey. I'm like, I got them fucking games already. What do I need them for?
Yeah, but again, you're not.
I'm speaking for myself, obviously. For everybody else, it's great, Like, I was specifically referencing those free games they gave everybody. Like, how with PS Plus, Manny, they give you free games, but they could actually take them away from you. They actually gave games that they will never take away from you.
Mm-hmm.
But again, to me, I'm like, for me personally, I'm like, whatever.
So yeah, I mean, you're already, because we at the time you already played them like years ago.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, it's a good incentive for people who just got a new PlayStation and thinking about like, how much you can get, just by paying the little subscription fee every month, right?
Yeah.
You get a free game, free 2-3 games, or with Xbox, where I don't know how quickly they take games off of it, but even that.
I have a question.
Uh-oh.
Go for it.
Brian,
Mm-hmm.
do these types of news make you like entice you to get Game Pass again?
Not really. Again, purely because most of the games that I really want to play on Game Pass, I'll either get them elsewhere purely because it's more convenient. For example, I wanted to play Hellblade and, in a sense, A Plague's Tale, and they're both on Game Pass, I believe.
Yeah.
But I went out and bought them on GOG instead because I found out that by the time I get round to it, my Game Pass would have expired. So I just said there's no real point of extending it just for those 2 games. I'd rather just wait for something that I can't play anywhere else apart from Game Pass. So hence why I said, okay, I'll get the Game Pass games and I'll play like games that I know I will never buy on like just normally because that's not my thing. Whereas these games I want to play, so I'll buy them. That way I can spend the Game Pass time on games that I want to try out. So hence Game Pass is like my it's like my blockbuster. It's there, and I'm using it to like play games that I never will buy or never thought I would buy, just as a taster. So yeah, so I'm sort of different in that camp. But I guess that the people that like live on Game Pass, this is really great because then it's like, cool, I get to play that Red Dead game now, and yeah, so I guess it is good news for them, which is fantastic. So
Yeah.
again, for me, I honestly could not care less. Because I'm like, I don't really care what games you put on Game Pass because it's there for me to try games that I don't think I would buy or try otherwise. So I'm just there, just walking around the buffet, just trying some stuff out. Okay, cool, I'll try this out. Never tried it before. Like, yeah, I'm that guy in the buffet that just like takes one item off every single part and just tries it out. Okay, cool. Try this part out. Try this part out. Again, I don't know. It may be good, maybe bad.
I don't understand people who just stack up everything in a plate. Maybe that's
They like what they like. That's what I've noticed. So just stick with it. Yeah, I once had like a buffet where a friend of mine just did that. He went and got like fish and chips. And I'm like, dude, you had a buffet which has like food from everywhere around the world, and you choose like fish and chips, bro. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Yeah.
You know, sometimes
Yo,
he
but
doesn't
that sounds like me though. It's like, hey man, I'm getting some Chinese food. Oh, what you getting Chinese food? Fried chicken and rice. You know, it's like that's the shit I normally eat. You know,
but that's not the same because the Chinese places make some of the best chicken wings.
yo, they really do, man. And the fried rice, excuse me.
Excuse me.
By the way, the Chinese food place across from me finally opened after a month. I'm about to hit them up this weekend, man. Yes, I'm risking it.
You ain't risking shit. It's not like they went back to fucking mainland China, got the fires, and came back, idiot.
Well, they could have just went to Manhattan to get it instead, you know? Oh, man. Yeah. By the way, that was a joke. I am not trying to get any takeout at this point because I don't know what the fuck is going to happen. By the way, I should say this. Your boy, I don't have it right now. You can kind of see in the background, that white box. That's the Google Stadia people.
Calling you, it's like, hello, Tony.
Yeah,
Yo, man.
so
See
FedEx.
what the future see what the future looks like since you are in the past.
So FedEx brought this shit over, right? I pick up the box and I was like, fuck. You know? So put the box down, right, in a corner, wash my hands, and I didn't touch it again until, you know, like I think it was 24 hours or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but because of that, you know, by the way, if you guys were thinking, oh, Tony, you're making some kind of racist Chinese joke, I'm like, no, I'm just like, in general, bro, if you're buying anything right now, you're risking. That's the way I see it, you're risking. That's why I haven't ordered shit from Amazon in a long time, man. You know, even like, you know, when I buy food from across the street, it's like, wash them hands. You never know, bruh. You never know. You know?
You gotta worry about the people some of the people who are working there, also the people that are actually walking through the actual supermarket.
Yeah. Isn't that fucked up though? It's like I'm not worried about people bringing the virus from China. I'm worried about them bringing it from Manhattan. You know, shit. I mean, Manny, let's just be real. That's how you got it, you know?
It's just going and just, you know, there's no guarantee, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, oh, don't worry about me. I haven't been to China. I'm like, I'm not worried about you being in China. Have you been to Manhattan? You know? Where's that food bit, man? And Queens ain't that good either, you know? Anyway, enough of that. What the fuck were we even talking about?
You're talking about
Red Dead. Game Pass, Red Dead. So yeah, if you got, you know, if you somehow haven't played Red Dead and you got Game Pass, go for it. Great, fantastic game of the generation. I'm not being hyperbolic about that. I mean that shit. You know.
Didn't you say? No, never mind. That was someone else.
Okay, wait. No, you got to finish that line of thought now, man.
No, someone. I thought for some reason it was you, but someone else told me that Final Fantasy VII is their game of the generation.
Oh, no, I wouldn't go that far. I think I've been saying Red Dead game of the generation for a year and like a half now. You know.
Yeah.
Fantastic game, man. Final Fantasy is definitely a contender for game of the year, though. Well, I said it right now, people.
Oh, you had Doom as like contender too, right?
Yes. So far, my contenders are, it's probably going to be Final Fantasy VII, but right now the top 3 games are Final Fantasy VII. These are all Game of the Year worthy games. Final Fantasy VII, Doom Eternal, and motherfucking Resident Evil 3. All up there. Yeah, Resident Evil 3 is fucking good, man.
Resident Evil 3 is really good.
You know? By the way, with Resident Evil 3, I find it funny how... Okay, people are complaining that the game is too short and too action-packed. Those are literally the same complaints they had about the original Resident Evil 3 back in the day. It's hilarious. I'm like, duh, you know, I don't know. Crazy. Anyway, any other thoughts on Red Dead 2 coming to Game Pass?
Have fun.
Right.
Have fun.
Enjoy it, man. You know, Wash your horses, man.
Yeah, wash your horses, cut your beard. Well, you literally have to do all the same things you do in real life. Cut your beard.
Not me, baby. I'm letting my Rona beard come in, man.
Uh-oh.
You know?
You're going to become the evil Tony now.
I am. You'll see how red this shit is, all right? It's crazy, man.
Kind of Hispanic person, you red beard.
No, I am Hispanic because this is just one of the many hair colors I have on me, man. Like a true Hispanic mutt, I got all them colors, man. It's crazy.
the many colors.
Yeah, they are right, Tony, of the many colors, you know. Like my arm hairs, they ain't fucking red, you know. Anyway, what the fuck are we? Oh, Final Fantasy VII, we were talking about it. So the game has shipped more than 3.5 million copies. Both
physical copies,
shipped shipped and digital, both.
Oh, okay.
But here's the thing, though. They didn't give the exact number. Chris, you can correct me if I'm wrong. They didn't give the exact number, but apparently a good chunk of that was actually digital. Again, you're telling me people are buying digital games during a pandemic?
Looking at you, Sony.
Just saying. Chris, what's your take on this, man?
It's what on Final Fantasy?
The game. The game selling that much. In that short amount of time.
Oh well, I think there was a fantastic crossroads happening, and by fantastic I mean tragic as well.
Yes,
in the middle of people locked down their house and stuff. But you also have the nostalgia factor of millions of people who's like, started with PS1 or experienced the original game, who have been looking forward for this remake for like 20 something years, right? So it finally happens. Of course, people are going to jump on it, But the high digital sales, the acquisition in such a short time is just like, hey, I'm stuck in my house. What are you going to play? I mean, that's why the same thing happened with Animal Crossing. There's people looking forward to that forever. It's like, that's the game I'm playing. That's what I'm doing in my house. So, I fully expected that to do well. It has it. I mean, you like it. You're saying it's game of the year.
Man.
It's got excellent reviews. So it had good word of mouth. People are like, yeah, this is worth playing. This is worth owning. I didn't see the same thing for Resident Evil 3, to be honest with you.
No.
But like I said, a good crossroads of things happened to work in their favor, which I give the side eye to Last of Us 2. What's wrong with that game? I'm going to say that.
Yeah, well, I think they're just trying to maximize their profits there. But it's like, come on, guys. You're going to make your money regardless, By the way, some people are saying that they believe Final Fantasy VII would have sold. And, Chris, this is a question for you, actually. Do you think this game would have sold better had it not been for this fucking pandemic?
I don't know, because, like, you didn't lose an opportunity to get it. Like, I don't think anybody who... I myself, personally, I tried to buy my games physical, right? I've had no problem picking up everything I wanted to play so far digitally. I'm just like, just go on the store, bam, get it, and I'm fine. I'm fine with it. I got a couple of things off Steam today. I'm just like, whatever, I just loosened up about it. So I don't think that's an issue. I don't honestly think that people would have run out, or I only could see like maybe some people were hesitant if you had like a pre-order somewhere and you couldn't get it.
Like you had it at a GameStop or something.
Yeah, and if the store didn't accommodate, you're like, well, here's a code and you get your extras later or whatever. Then maybe you held back. But I don't think for the most part it affected it. I think it sold as well as could be expected.
Yeah, Glorious War says that the game shipped before the full lockdown in other countries. Would that affect sales in any way, Chris?
It shipped before the lockdown?
Yeah, before, because remember, actually, when the hell? No. The lockdown was already fully in place, bro.
It shipped early in Australia. I know that.
Yeah.
I don't know
because the lockdown, at least the global one was really like in mid-March, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, early mid-March.
And the game didn't start breaking street dead until a week before it came out, that would be late March. So I don't think that. Yeah, there was no the lockdown was already in place. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. It was already in place.
Yeah, and I remember Square Enix was saying, to try to not stream it or anything like that.
Yeah. By the way, if you guys play the game, when you get to chapter 18, the PlayStation automatically cuts the shit off. It just is like no more recording after this point.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that because it's like the whole game, like you can stream it pretty much except that one bit.
Yeah, and there's a reason why, which we will discuss on the Final Fantasy VII Remake spoiler alert tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern over on Twitch. Man, Discord, you better be fucking working, man. You better be fucking working tomorrow. There's some bullshit, man. Give
him an angry call. You son of a bitch! You better wait working tomorrow.
You know, get off my lawn.
Me and the boys got to talk about Final Fantasy.
Man.
Yeah, any of those factors, like, see, if we were to believe that this affected Final Fantasy sales negatively, then you'd have to also apply that to like Animal Crossing, right?
That's right.
That doesn't seem to be the case. Like it sold it's phenomenal the way it sold. It beat Pokemon, it beat Zelda in the short term sales. So I don't think this affected anything. I think people are just willing to get it however they could. Same thing with Final Fantasy. They'll just buy it digitally. Bam, you got it. No need to go outside. No, you instantly have it. Whatever. Okay.
I didn't think about that, but you're right. It's like if you're gonna say that this game didn't sell as well because of what's going on, then you have to also say Animal Crossing didn't sell as well because you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I don't think that holds any water. Now that I really think about it, I think the game sold what it was gonna sell.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, even you're a physical guy. Most people were like, fuck it. I'll buy digital. I just want to play this shit,
Yeah. That's it. I would have had a disc for Doom Eternal. And I was like, fuck it. Digital,
That's it, man. Oh, one thing that people have been pointing out, they said that this game didn't sell as well as Final Fantasy 15. That game sold 8 million or shipped 8 million in 3 days. But here's the catch, right? Though it didn't sell, it was 5 million. 5 million in 3 days. The catch is they didn't run out of stock in those 3 days. Like pretty much Final Fantasy VII is becoming hard to get now, So this game did sell more in that sense. You know what I'm saying? Like
it also was multi-platform.
Yeah, it's also true. That's interesting. Yeah. So it's like the multi-platform game. Like, if you balance the numbers out, it didn't sell as well, or if you make the numbers more proportionate, it didn't sell as well as this one, It's interesting.
Yeah.
What happened?
No, I was agreeing with you.
All right.
Chris just agreed with you with an emphatical yay.
Yay, yeah. I was like, did he say EA? Like, what?
He said it's in the game. What?
It's in the game. All right, so yeah, Final Fantasy, and again, since the game is still, by the way, and it's cool about Final Fantasy VII, I like the fact that pretty much I haven't heard any too much negativity about it. Even the people who were skeptical about it, they're like, yo, this game's fucking dope.
You know what surprises me? And I guess we won't get too much into the detail into the game because you guys are doing the review tomorrow, but I'm surprised the Metacritic score isn't like in the 90s.
Yeah, that is interesting. Because most reviewers didn't really shit on the game either. To be honest,
they didn't.
No, reviewers generally liked it. Go ahead.
They're all positive.
Yeah, but I guess those numbers weren't there. I don't know. But again, Metacritic isn't affecting the sales either.
Yeah.
Man, watch that spoiler alert, people. Things are gonna get interesting, man.
I'm gonna fucking take my popcorn out when I watch that shit.
Get ready, man. Yeah, again, Discord better be fucking working. The specific reason I picked 4 guys on the show is because it's gonna look really nice on that overlay and shit.
Yeah, we already have a little something special set up for the show already. So,
I could give these motherfuckers a sneak peek.
You can give a preview if you like.
You're gonna give a tease, man.
Yeah, our formats are going to
all right, just forgive me if the music starts playing because it's not supposed to play right now. So give me a sec here. All right, no music. So there it is. That is going to be our little pre thing, and that screenshot is actually
Oh, that's
Sick, right? Yeah, and I took that screenshot myself while I was playing the game, man.
Spoilers.
Hey, listen, if you play Final Fantasy VII, you know what this is. You know, that happens, you know. And also, if this is going to be the featured image, man. Another shot I took from the game. Pretty cool stuff. So for you guys listening at home, basically, the pre-roll is the standard pre-roll that we have on Twitch, just with a Final Fantasy VII background. And our spoiler alert image, which you guys will see, is Cloud being like zeroed in on by a robot. It's going to be crazy, man.
Scanned.
Yeah, the robot has a fucking name. It's a boss, but like I don't know. You know, I'm pretty sure nerds gonna be. It's you know.
Yo, shout out to Dio. He said, once I finish Final Fantasy VII Remake, I'll replay the original again.
Word. I was
Dio.
thinking about replaying the Midgar section. You know, I was thinking maybe. Who knows, man? Oh, by the way, non sequitur. Yo, Final Fantasy VI on Steam fucking sucks.
What?
It is basura.
How can they mess that up?
What happened is it's a port of the mobile game.
Yeah, that's what a lot of those are.
That's how.
So not only does it have the shitty mobile graphics, they just smoothed out everything to high health, so it looks really cheap and shit. That's bad enough as it is, right? They kept the mobile overlay. There's all this fucking shit on the screen, you know?
Didn't
Yeah.
they remake it for the DS?
Maybe, but I was talking to Ricky Sanwen, the only one.
Yeah,
and he said play the PlayStation version of Final Fantasy VI.
Play what was it, the Crystal Chronicle ones that they released a while ago? Or
No, it wasn't Crystal Chronicles. It was Final Fantasy Anniversary. I don't know, but
I don't know. It was like a Vita. It was one that had like a multiple ones, but they sort of like shined them up a little bit.
Yeah. No, here's the thing about the Vita and those are PSP. Okay, so on PSP they remade Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 4, right? And they looked fucking good, man. It basically imagine Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 4 in the visual style of 6, right? Amazing. They look great. Great music, everything. So I'm like, why the fuck didn't you just do that for 6? I'm like, you have 3 games that emulated 6. You don't do that for 6. You know? What the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, and I'm going to say this right now. I would also love for them to remake Final Fantasy 3 and 5 in those graphics. 3 remade it with like 3D graphics and stuff. You know?
Yeah, the one for the DS.
Yeah, that one. And 5, so... if Square Enix,
that was 4 for DS, they did that one. I don't know.
But Final Fantasy 4, I think it's complete edition for PSP. It looks so fucking good, man. It would be so cool to get a Final Fantasy 6 like that. I would love if all 6 of the first Final Fantasy games were released in a package that looked just like that, with those like awesome like 16-bit sprites and shit. You know, oh, so good.
Yeah, Square did a really bad job with the PC ports because they just took the mobile ones.
Yeah.
The worst one was the Chrono Trigger one. The Chrono Trigger one's really bad, and a bunch of them are really, really messed up on there.
Yeah. I just had a wild hair up my ass. I was like, I want to play some Final Fantasy VI. By the way, yes, I've never played Final Fantasy VI. Never played it. That game came out during a time where I was like, fuck RPGs. I'm not playing these things, you know?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII was that opened my eyes, you know? But so I was like, but I wasn't thinking about seriously replaying. I was like, let me just dabble in it a little bit. Yo, it looks fucking terrible, man. Like, if I ever decide to play it, not the PSP version, I'm going to just, and you guys know how I feel about mods. I'd rather play the game the way it's supposed to be. I'm going to throw some fucking mods on that shit just so it could look like the Super Nintendo one, you know?
Yo, you didn't play Final Fantasy VI, but did you play Final Fantasy 3, though?
No.
It went over your head.
No, it didn't, because I'm trying to figure out how to answer that question. So I'm like, no to both of them, Carlos. I didn't play either of them. I didn't play Final Fantasy 3 in North America, and I didn't play Final Fantasy 3 when it got re-released. For you guys who don't know, Final Fantasy 3 is what Final Fantasy 6 was in America. It was weird, you know?
Yeah, Final Fantasy 2 in America was Final Fantasy 4 in Japan.
Yeah. By the way, for us Americans, not for me, but I'm speaking about from what I've heard. Like, and maybe you could touch on this too. You too, Chris. Basically, like, if you didn't know anything about the Japanese versions of Final Fantasy, you saw Final Fantasy, the first one, the one on Nintendo. Then it goes to 2, and you're like, "Yo, graphically, this looks fucking crazy. What happened?" Because you really jump from 1 to 4, right? And then you jump from 2 to 3, which is really 4 to 6. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah, because they didn't the market didn't they didn't believe that those games would do very well here in the States, so that's why they were sort of few and far between. The original Final Fantasy did well in the States, but not good enough, so that's why they didn't bother releasing all the other Final Fantasy games. So then they're like, okay, being that we didn't really put these other ones out, we'll just name this one that's on the Super Nintendo was 2.
I don't know if it was a case of the game not selling well, because it did. I think it was more a case of, because remember, they released the first Final Fantasy almost when the Super Nintendo was coming out. So they were like, okay, what the hell's the point of putting 2 and 3? I just put 4, but we got to rename it 2, obviously, not to confuse people.
And then the other thing is that they also put out what they were considered a more Western sort of oriented like RPG, which was Mystic Quest.
Yeah,
which is a sort of semi connected to Final Fantasy 4 or 2. But but it's a more of an action based sort of game than it was. The other one was.
Yeah. But yeah, just to clarify that, it wasn't that Final Fantasy, the first one, didn't sell. What actually did, it opened a lot of people's eyes to the, RPG genre even back then, but it was more a case of like the game released so late, they were like, fuck it, just get 4 out there, but just call it 2, By the way, Final Fantasy is still the best-selling RPG in America, the franchise and shit. Obviously in Japan, it was Dragon Quest.
But there's just also a lot of that comes with at least with RPGs in the old days, because again, a lot of people weren't very sort of used to playing sort of turn-based sort of games. Again, like even Tony's a good example. Like, back then he was like, I ain't touching that shit. He's like, I want a game where you can control the character. So, well, now they did it. The Final Fantasy VII, they got rid of all the turn-based parts of it and just made it all you can just press a button if you want.
By the way, and the ironic thing is, because that's how I was back then. All the shit Manny was saying, that was me when I was a teenager, right? So when I was early teenager, and then when I became a late teenager and I started playing RPGs, right? I was like, yo, turn-based is fucking dope. And even till this day, even though I've obviously action RPGs are real RPGs, there's still that little kernel inside of me. It's like, nah, man, turn-based, that's the real RPG, Riku didn't play. No, he did not. Glorious War. As a matter of fact, funny thing about Riku, when we first met him at SCFU and Play, he was the Japanese correspondent, and I started asking him about all these Japanese games, and it turned out the only Japanese games he played were hack and slash games. Like, how are you gonna be a Japanese correspondent? You don't play RPGs, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But obviously Riku is a more well-balanced gamer these days.
Yeah, he kind of, as he got older, he started dabbling in. I was like, hey, these things are pretty cool.
Yeah. Was it Final Fantasy Origins, Manny?
Was it the one though he
the
played?
Collection? The collection of Final Fantasy 1 and 2.
I think it might have been Final Fantasy Origins.
Okay, and but the one with 6 is something else.
The one with this, so there's a weird
anthology, I think. Let me see.
Yeah, because there's a weird one, because like the one with like all the one with all the popular ones are all put onto one, and then they had for some reason Final Fantasy IV is not on there. So there's like Final Fantasy IV, Chrono Trigger, and then something else, like a weird other mix.
Yeah. And wasn't it was it 3, right? Or 5? One of those? That was like the last Final Fantasy game to come out years later,
Yeah, Final Fantasy V was like the last of the classic Final Fantasies to ever come out.
It's interesting, man.
And and the only way you could get that one is if it was translated originally, it was fan translated.
Yeah. That's cool. All right, let's move on here. This is a bit of follow-up. So last week we talked about Mr. Jason Schreier leaving Kotaku, right? And he was obviously the biggest guy there. Turns out, and we didn't say this specific news outlet. I think some of us said Washington Post or whatever, but he's going to be working for Bloomberg News now, people.
Bloomberg.
Yeah. So there you go.
Oh, damn it. Should I make this joke?
No, I'd chill. If it's a joke, I think you're gonna make.
Is it the joke? Is it the joke about giving every single American $5,000?
No, it's not that. It's about. I'm not even gonna go down that route.
Yo, people can.
Chill.
Just saying, president, trying to become the president. That's a lot of money.
So, Jason, you're gonna be writing for us? Is that what Mike's gonna be doing?
I'm sure Mike Bloomberg's like, he's like, hey, Jason will be like, hey, Mike, and be like, who's this guy? Why is he talking to me? Oh, he writes for this, but okay, good.
I got so many jokes I can't do it so bad. I'll stop. So yeah, good for him. I guess Bloomberg News is going to be doing more gaming shit because he's going to be doing the same thing he's always been doing. Yeah. I think he said he's going to do even more of an emphasis on behind the scenes labor shit of gaming, which has kind of become his thing. And apparently that's the reason why Bloomberg hired him. They really liked his reporting on all that stuff. Him talking about crunches and all that other shit.
Like, bring us some scandals.
Yeah.
Funny thing, Tony, is that when you said that he'll be doing the same thing, my first thought is, so he'll be complaining about how women look in video games.
Yes, pretty much. Oh my god! If this was Throwdown 5 years ago, man, I'd be making jokes right now, man. Actually, I could make this one. Oh my god, are those breasts on her chest? I'm outraged. Oh man! All right, let's move on here. But this sucks. I threw this story in here specifically for Brett, man, because he's been talking all this shit about Sony. So I figured Brett would just like this because any news of Sony, any negative news he probably like, I haven't read this yet. I just purely threw it on here because of the headline. So we're going to all learn together, people. So this is, so this is from Gaming Bolt, and the headline reads, Sony resting on their laurels with PlayStation 5, says former PlayStation developer. Scandalous.
Interesting. Elaborate.
All right, so I'm just going to read their article. We know the general stats of both next-gen consoles, and of course that has stoked the flames of the never-ending console warring online. People have looked at the numbers, which systems has the most hits, this or that. It seems the general consensus is the Xbox Series X has a little bit more power under the hood than the PlayStation 5, but who really knows until the final products are on the shelf. One man who used to be pretty connected to PlayStation seems to think Sony is maybe not 100% with their next console. So Chris Garnell worked for 14 years at the European PlayStation arm. He was a senior designer for the Wipeout series and worked at Guerrilla Games for a few years. He's now freelance, and he was on a podcast called RDX Podcast. He's had a few strong opinions about the PlayStation 5, especially in comparison to Xbox Series X. While he does not say PS5 is a beast, he does feel like there's a noticeable difference between the two systems and feels like Sony is resting on their laurels, even comparing this to the PS3 era. The PS3 era where Sony infamously made huge fumbles. Right, so this is one of his quotes. PS5 is not a bad console. It's just an absolute beast of a piece of hardware, but it's just a piece of hardware which is slower on numerous kinds of paths than what Microsoft has put together. I think Sony has kind of rested on their laurels a little bit. They've got this massive market share and lead. They've done that. They've got this massive market share and lead that they've done a kind of PS3 is what I've been hearing. It's not that bad in terms of hardware and complications and things like that, but just a little bit of they didn't really kind of appreciate what Xbox we're trying to do in terms of power narrative. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Fanboy shit, man. Right
Yeah.
there, man.
You think that's fanboy shit?
Yeah, and I can say this as someone that's I like to I'm not a fanboy of anything. Like That shit just sounds like, oh, it's clearly not better than the Xbox because it's more powerful. Like that's the only contrasting thing you can bring up between the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, and you're saying that they're resting on their laurels because of that. It's like, come on.
Yeah. By the way, Glorious War, by the way, shout out for the bits, brother. You always appreciate that. So I didn't read it until he goes, Tony, don't even read that bullshit. It's from RDX Podcast, fraud alert. So it was a fanboy podcast. He says, RDX Podcast propaganda, this dude got exposed. Okay. Interesting. So I guess he didn't know that it was a fanboy podcast. But like, regardless of what the podcast is, the guy still worked for Sony. So, his complaints are, I guess, legitimate in that regard. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of whatever the podcast was. But yeah, there are podcasts out there that are very, propaganda-ish, But, pretty interesting, they said. But, to me, just reading this now, it just seems like it's one of these kind of like, hey, slow news week. Let's drum up some fanboy shit.
Yeah, they find somebody who worked over there and stuff like that. But, I mean, that's this guy's opinion about this. I don't know what exactly to say. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, he was a former Sony guy, but he did work at those guys that did Wipeout, and those guys kind of got wiped out.
Oh shit! Yeah. Again, the main reason I threw this in here because I knew I wanted Brett to go off, but Brett ain't here right now, and Brett is not very happy about the general state of PlayStation. So I'm pretty sure he would agree with this assessment.
I think there is a definitely sort of like the last time I was on the show, I do feel like that they're sort of just lost that sort of human touch, and they just sort of become this sort of like this commanding entity that this extinction entity that just tells you to go and deliver a bunch of packages and doesn't tell you why you're doing it, and you're just supposed to support this entity and not question it. And I think that's it's sounding a little bit overlordish with them, and I think that's what's giving that's what's setting off Brett's spider sense.
Yeah, I think his problem is, not to speak for the man, but he doesn't like Sony's messaging.
Yeah, it just seems so cold, and I think that's the big difference right now between Microsoft and Sony. Microsoft is even though they're probably about as cold and calculating as Sony is, but they have a guy there that's kind of warming things up for everybody.
Yeah. My thing is, and I said this before, it's like obviously that stuff is good. It's better when you have like cool people at a company. Like we had Shuhei, we had Gio, we had Andrew House. Like you like these guys. They seem like really cool dudes, right? But at the end of the day, I don't really give a shit. Just give me my console. You know what I'm saying? They just give me the fucking console. That's all I really care about at the end of the day. Like does that shit play good games? That's all I care about.
Yeah.
But to Brett, it's more important. But so we can't take that away from him.
I think for a lot of people, having a human face to these products sort of helps it. It's like having a good pitchman when you have a TV commercial. Like Sony's pitchman, right? Kevin Butler, right? The minute that guy Kevin Butler came out, even if you didn't, obviously he was a fucking fake executive, right? But he did enough, like his personality and the way he played that character got you to be like, all right, let's go along with this, even though it was a total farce. He was an actor, he wasn't a real executive.
What's going on, Sergeant No Writer says Phil just seems like a cool guy. Yeah, no, I agree. Like out of all these executives now, he's the one guy I'm like, yeah, I can have a beer with that dude. He seems cool.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the I think Major Nelson too is one of those sorts of guys.
Oh yeah, Major Nelson's a good guy, man.
He doesn't seem like he has. I mean, granted, he is a marketing guy, but he, you can have a beer with him and it look like he can actually maybe have a sort of human conversation with you.
Hey, we did. Remember, it was a very short conversation.
It was a short one, and it was a good little conversation. It was, And
Yeah,
that's
by the way, yeah, if you guys don't know, Manny and I, we actually talked to Major Nelson in the elevator after an I think it was 2013 Xbox conference, and we're like, hey, we liked what we saw. It was like a 30-second conversation, but it was a really good one. He really, like, you could tell he was really listening to us, what we were saying and shit. It was cool.
Yeah, it was good.
And Major Nelson's a good guy. I met him one other time again, but he's such a busy guy. You can't really lock him down or whatever.
No, yeah, you just like, hey, blah, 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 and then gone on your way.
Yeah.
Kind of a deal. He's zipping around.
Yeah, I did get to talk to Mark Cerny for about 2 minutes. Actually, that same year, 2013. Yes, he is like that in real life. But he's a nice guy too.
He's the Zen master.
Yeah. Oh man! All right, that's all we got for news, man. So let's get to what games we have been playing. I'm gonna jump right to Carlos. I want to hear your impressions of Final Fantasy VII.
Without spoiling it, it's a very interesting game. Very.
Yes.
It's like it's all right. I'll just talk about the more other stuff.
Yeah.
So, the combat for the most part is good. I don't like the fact that it's a little bit too, narrow. Like all your surroundings. It feels like a little bit suffocating. Like there's not a lot of open areas, and they're like the biggest open areas are just the boss battles. But I was talking to Tony before the show started, and I think, like I told him, it's like I think they're gonna bust out a Final Fantasy 13 on this. I think this first part or whatever of the Final Fantasy VII remake is gonna be like narrow corridors going in through all these tight buildings and stuff like that, and hallways. And I would put money that the second part is just gonna be like a huge open world, like atmosphere with a game, and it's gonna be open like Final Fantasy 13 when you get to Grand Pulse. So yeah, like it's I mean, overall it's a great game. I think I agree with Tony. It's a contender for Game of the Year for me. And one gripe. I understand that this is an action RPG game, but they're trying really hard to make this like turn-based in a way. Like kind of it's not turn-based, but they're trying to emulate aspects of it.
Yeah.
They're forcing you. The game forces you to switch characters. Like you can't just be playing as Cloud the whole time and just stick with that character when you're in a in a 3-party battle. You have to switch from Cloud to to Tifa and to Barrett and stuff like that, because a lot of the times, and this happened to me quite frequently. Sometimes the characters aren't doing anything. The ones that aren't being used. And I'm like, yo, why aren't you doing anything? And then sometimes like their AP takes you're fighting for like 2-3 minutes, and none of the other characters' AP gauges have filled up, at least not even one bar. And I'm like, God damn it, I'm gonna have to switch. So they make it, the game makes it so you have to use your characters, and that's, I guess it's not as much of a complaint as it is just something that I wasn't expecting. But yeah, other than that, it's a great game, man. The cinematics are great. At the very end, had too many boss battles, in my opinion. I don't know.
Oh yeah, they just throw them at you, son.
There was I swear 10 boss battles at the end, man. I was like, yo, man, when is this gonna stop? But yeah, I mean, did it live up to the hype? I don't think so, but it's still a freaking ridiculously good game.
Interesting. Why don't you think it lived up to the hype? Because I think it surpassed the hype.
It surpassed. Well, story-wise, it surpassed the hype for me. Gameplay-wise, it didn't, because I still prefer the Final Fantasy 15 type combat.
Yeah.
Even though it's still really similar, Final Fantasy 15 kind of felt more, I don't know, intuitive for me, or at least it just felt more comfortable. And another thing about this game it's not hard, but it's not easy either. This game, you need to think. Like, you can't just hack and slash the the whole game. Like you'll die a lot. And the whole materia system. Oh, the materia system is pretty good too.
Yeah, man.
That they did a good job.
I mean,
Like-
somebody could correct me on this. I don't think they changed it much because they probably didn't need to. You know.
From Final Fantasy 15 to 13.
No,
or-
7. The original 7 to this one. The materia system seems about the same to me. I could be wrong. I know there's new materia, specifically for this game. Like, there's like ATB materia or like first strike materia and shit like that, or blocking materia. But like, it generally works the same, and I kind of feel that's good because materia was a really good aspect of 7.
I know in terms of spells, it was. I don't know. I don't remember if like those passive materials existed in the original.
I don't remember. Maybe there were. I mean, again, in the chat, somebody could tell us, but I don't remember. I think to me, I'm not saying it's exactly the same because it obviously isn't, but it seems very in the spirit of the original materia system.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, but like when you're upgrading your weapon, it's like you have to. Oh, I don't remember this. Like, can you upgrade your materia in the original game?
Could
Yeah,
you?
you could,
You
yeah.
could, right?
They,
You have to grind it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the more you used it, the more it sort of gained levels almost. And
Is
then eventually, then eventually when I think you had the master materia, it would split and you can get another one. So if you had,
I was going to say, I guess master materia is going to be in the next game.
yeah. Well, no, because it was like what you could do is like the more you got, the more the sort of levels they sort of got and skills and things that they got. Eventually, they could make a new version, a new one of it. So like you could have multiple people with the Knights of the Round materia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But my guess is since they have that sort of materia system where that guy makes them or something like that. My guess is they're probably going to take that idea and continue with that.
Yeah.
Maybe Bugenhagen will be the one that does it when you get to Cosmo Canyon.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, the game is definitely a game of the year contender. It took me. I started this game last Saturday and I beat it today actually. So
Nice.
that goes to show like how like enticing that game was. Like I mentioned, the story is the best part of this game for me, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And the characters and all that shit is awesome.
Oh, yo, I like how the game has a lot. It has a lot of what do you call it? Like voice interactions. It's
Yeah.
like there's like a lot of like every time something changes, like sometimes like a lot of people say different things like depending on that change.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like different voices, like different chats that go around.
Yeah,
So,
one thing I found cool when you go to replay some missions, depending on how you do them, you actually get different scenes, which is kind of cool, like alterations of scenes you've seen. Like there's one in the sewer, like you see Eris and Tifa laying down. If you go, depending on who you go to first, you'll get a different scene.
Oh yeah.
Which is pretty cool. There's a bunch, and then even stuff that I just found later. I'm like, oh, look at that! Like Eris, like she'll have different dresses and shit, and the scene will play out differently, and she'll say something different depending on what kind of dress she's wearing.
Yo, by the way,
Yeah,
I went to Tifa first.
my man. Yeah, Tifa the waifu, man. I'm just saying.
Well, you got to go with the girl you know,
Yeah, man.
not the girl that you're somehow pining over because some other guy wanted her. Oh.
I'll save this for the spoiler alert. I like the fact that, okay, one thing I always, by the way, and I'm going to keep calling her Eris. The Eris shit, fuck that. One thing I always found interesting about Eris is like, ever since Final Fantasy VII came out, whenever she's popped up anywhere else, she's always portrayed as this like holy angelic, being, like pure and all that, right? I love the fact that this game, kept that same like kind of quirkiness about her that she had in the original. You know, like people think like, oh yeah, she's pure of heart. Like you realize she's the one that thought of putting fucking Cloud in a dress, right? She threatened to cut off Cornelio's balls, you know, and she was always, and she, you know, in this game especially, she's always fucking with Cloud. It's great. I'm like, yeah, that's the way she's supposed to be, you know. There's even a scene where she's like climbing a like a ladder and shit, and it breaks under her, and she's like, shit, you know. So it's kind of fun. They kept that going because I'm like, I don't know how she became this fucking like deific like angel or whatever, and so, you know, another media and shit, you know, like Eris has a little bit of bite to her, you know, a little bit of picante, you know.
You know what's funny in this game is fucking Wedge. Yo, Wedge is so funny in this game. He's like, yo, bro,
yeah,
hey, bro.
yeah, it's like, yeah. Listen, he just wants Cloud to, you know, give him some props, and Cloud ain't doing it, man. Yo, I'll bring this up. Like, Jessie fucking thirsty, man.
Oh fuck yeah, man.
She wanted Cloud's Buster Sword, you know.
Oh, question. Did you use the Buster Sword throughout the whole game?
No, I switched, and
Yeah, you eventually got other weapons, but in the Midgar section, you never really changed your weapons.
yeah,
You had it.
Yeah.
The first time you get to change you get like any sort of new weaponry or any sort of changes to the weaponry is when you get to the first town outside of Midgar.
Yeah, no, Carlos, you want to keep switching up your weapons because if you use each weapon's specific ability enough times, you'll unlock it, and you can keep using it on other weapons.
Yeah, exactly. So like the Omni the Omni Slash and all those other things. Yeah, the more you use them with that weapon, eventually he just keeps the skill.
Yeah, no Omni Slash in this game. I think they call it something else. But yeah,
really,
so, yeah. Like for example, like you get a giant fucking like spiked bat, a nail spiked bat. So I used that for a while, unlocked the ability, and now with my regular sword, which is it's called a Twin Blades, which is like the best sword for Cloud. Like I'm still like kidding, like it's a bat. Sometimes it's kind of fun, you know. So yeah, Carlos, unlock all the weapons, unlock all their shit, man. You get a lot of cool moves.
Yo, man, where'd you get the Twin Blades?
Somewhere near the end of the game.
Oh man,
like it wasn't anything. I didn't have to do anything crazy. I just got it, you know.
Shit, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Oh well,
gotta have to get it now, man.
Gotta have some.
Yeah, no, Buster Sword, I got rid of that shit almost immediately as soon as they gave me the next weapon, which was a lot better than it, you know?
Yeah,
it didn't look as cool, but I kept it, you know?
Well, that's the reason why I kept using the Buster Sword, because for me, all the attributes, like, I preferred the attributes to the Buster Sword all the time as compared to the other ones. Until, like, the very last, I think, you find this sword in Shinra.
Yeah.
Like that's the only one that I found that was better.
Are you sure that's not the Twin Blades? Cause I think that's where, because that Twin Blade sword is literally at the end of the game.
You find it at the Shinra lab, right?
Yeah. You probably have it then.
Okay, maybe I just because they're not twin blades.
No,
just one blade.
It's one blade, but if you look at it closely, it actually is like two blades kind of glued together or something, you know?
Yeah, I have it then.
Okay, yeah, you got it. Yeah, because I'm like, I didn't do anything special. I just got it, you know?
I beat the game with that
nice.
Sword.
Yeah, that's my go-to sword right there. Oh, so good, man. Anyway, you played anything else or just Final Fantasy?
No, that's it.
All right, Mr. Chris.
I actually have played very little this week because I just have been busy with work. But I beat Journey.
Oh,
I never played. Yeah, so I
spoil
damn. I know. I mean, you just walk. Like Journey is literally. I'm just like, man, there's nothing to fight. There's no words. Even though I saw like voice credits, I'm like, what voice? I mean, when you sing, it sounds like somebody hits a key on a Casio, like they were testing it. You know, it ain't no voice. So but it's a beautiful game, right? Very zen, very relaxing. Like you get to explore that neat world. And it was fun. It was short as hell. I sat down maybe like a little over an hour and I finished it. So
did you get any of the other journeymen? Like
yes, I got two people. It said I met And the credits, it tells you met a couple people, which I was shocked. I was like, oh, those were real people. I didn't realize they were real people.
Yeah, because they don't like they sometimes like at least when I played, they kind of like you can kind of help each other. Like the more noises that you make, the higher you can fly and stuff. You can kind of skip areas and things.
Yeah, I noticed that when you get to the cold area, like you have to stand together to keep warm.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you start freezing up. That was that part was brutal, but someone helped me, so that was cool. Yeah, that's about it. I kind of am also inspired by Brian. I want to put God of War back on and get that platinum now.
Yeah,
too.
man. Yeah, dude, I'm about to get that shit tomorrow, man. I'm telling you.
That's one of the last things I have to do is kill those ravens. So
Yeah.
we'll look for them. So yeah, I'll install that tomorrow. Play it over the weekend. But that's about it. Like all I really got into was Journey. Oh, and I played. I was checking out some old Sega games because remember we
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
about some classic Sega stuff.
Oh,
So
shit, I forgot to bring it up. Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
I played an old Sega RPG called Fatal Labyrinth, and I was trying to get through that. I never heard of it, right? But it was like early Genesis, and it's terrible. It's like a bad copy of Yeast. Like
Oh,
if you think
wow.
of Yeast but bad, that's what that was. So I tried to play it and I was just like, I just stopped. I just couldn't play it anymore. I gave up.
It's called East.
Y'all talk about East?
Yeah. Yeah, that was bad. And I played something called Biohazard Battle, which is just like a bullet hell shooter where you get weird ass planes. It's like you're flying in a giant insect and you're fighting other giant insects that are shooting at you. I don't know. It was crazy. It's just like was sampling games that I don't remember from Genesis, but are in the collection.
That's
So I played
interesting.
that. Yeah, and it was fun. And then what did I end up doing? Going back playing Streets of Rage.
Yes. Yeah, man. By the way, Chris and I recorded a Streets of Rage centric ARG podcast with our friend David Gilton, which is probably up right now by the time you guys are hearing this, So that was a really good episode. We just went crazy about Streets of Rage and stuff, talking about the franchise, lots of good stuff there. So definitely check that out, man. And Streets of Rage 4 comes out next week, people. Just saying. Ooh, we may or may not stream it for you guys. We'll see what happens. That should be... We probably will stream it for you guys. That'll be a lot of fun. So much shit talking we could do in that game, man. And can we get 4 of us all together to play that shit?
Yep,
Yeah,
4 online.
Ooh, excuse me?
Let's do it.
Yeah. By the way, I can't say this, though. Watch out for my... I'm not reviewing it, but I'm doing something for it. So, yeah. Tony, does that mean you're playing it? Maybe. Oh, man. By the way, do the third. If you're waiting for your limited run copy, keep waiting. I ordered my fucking Panzer Dragoon from limited run 2 weeks ago. This shit's still in here.
I mean, I could have told you that all those limited run games don't come when they've been launched digitally.
Oh,
You're gonna be
really?
waiting for a little bit, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was because of the Rona,
No, it's not because of the Rona. It's more because that's just the way their service works. Like they're not like it's not like they're releasing a real release.
Yeah.
It's a special edition the copy that they're releasing so that that you'll eventually get.
Jesus.
Like I didn't get what was it? Double Switch like right away when it came out digitally.
Yeah,
I got it like a few months later.
Do the third said he waited a year for Celeste. I hope I don't have to wait a year for this shit. Jesus.
Well, they got to go through manufacturing and all that other stuff, so it's a good chance you might.
Fuck, maybe I'll buy it digitally then because I want to play. I thought I was going to get the game soon,
Oh.
Well, usually they say they give you updates like on what the process is and stuff like that. There's a very rare few that you get like a limited run game when it actually comes out, on the street date of the release.
It's interesting.
That's why I was like, well, why are you getting it there?
From limited run?
No, I'm saying, well, why are you waiting for it on limited run?
Yeah, because I thought it was going to come like quick, I thought I was going to get the next week. Oh, well. I had no idea. So, the year? I'm not trying to wait a year, bro.
I mean, it's that's just You're just waiting for them to produce the thing and then do all the special edition versions of it.
Yeah,
That's
I mean it makes sense, but yeah, maybe I'll just get it because it's Pan's Dragon. I don't mind supporting it, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but Streets of Rage, man, watch out for that. Manny, have you had a chance to play anything while you've been recuperating?
No, I've been watching some stuff, and I still have Bayonetta slash Vanquish. I've been that I played I played before all the stuff happened. I still plan to go back to play a bit of Bayonetta, but when I feel it, I'm not feeling too gamey or stuff like that. I'm just kind of more thinking about just healing and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah, no, man, I can understand, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, for me, I want to talk about Treachery and Beatdown City real quick. My review for that should be up soon on PC Mag. So basically, it's an interesting game. It's like it's made by a new challenger, as you know, we know him on Twitter, Sean Alexander. He's a former Rockstar developer. He didn't really like the work in there, Chris. You could kind of understand why. And he was like, "Fuck it, I want to make my own game." So he's been working on this game since I've known him, basically almost like 5-6 years. Like he's been working on this for. So basically, this game is. It's a crazy description, but it's the best way I can think of. It's Double Dragon meets Fallout. So it looks like a regular 1980s beat 'em up game, but as soon as you actually start engaging in combat, the game pauses and you have a pull out menu and shit, and you select your moves and stuff. You can string them together, and the game is heavily influenced by like New York and stuff. Like it takes place in the fictional city of East Fulton, and like it's just references out the ass. As a matter of fact, Adam's out here. He did review for the Coalition. His review's up there now. So it's just a lot of New York references, a lot of social satire. Like basically the plot of the game is President Blake Orama gets kidnapped by ninja dragon terrorists, and you got to rescue him. That's an homage to Bad Dudes right there. And the city's mayor, named Mike Moneybags, decides not to do anything about it. And it's kind of fun because like during the game you'll like run into like fucking hipsters and like racists and shit. It's a fun game. So I've been playing some of that. Like I already reviewed, but I kept on playing. Like it's kind of cool. It has some cool music and stuff. So and the game's available now on Steam and Switch, so you could check that out. So I've been playing that. Playing Final Fantasy VII, obviously, I haven't played that as much. I think it's been about a week since I played that. And as I said at the top of the show, been playing some God of War. I'm trying to get that platinum. I will get that platinum. It's mine. Give me that shit. Give me that plat. So that'll be cool. And that got me thinking, like, what other games do I need to plat? Maybe I'll go get an easy one like Detroit Become Human, because I played the game already, but I'm like, yeah, I could probably get a plat for that, So I may do that because I haven't been getting a lot of plats lately. I think I only got one plat last year. Shameful, but I just haven't had the time. But now there is a little bit more time, so may as well get some plats in,
Yeah. For me, like the last platinum I've ever gotten was this year.
Death Stranding, yeah. I still could, if I get the 20 missions of each type trophy down, that platinum's pretty much mine because the rest is easy,
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing of those 20 missions is you just got to make sure you keep track of which ones, and you can't repeat. You can't repeat them. So you just I just did a lot of cheesy easy missions.
Yeah.
Just did the higher versions of a bunch of cheesy missions, and then I managed to do it. I did it. I actually did it before the end. I even got to end game. Like the stuff where you play, you have to everything kind of goes back.
Yeah. C. Iverson says his last plat was Jedi Fallen Order, and Detroit. And Do the Third said Detroit took him 8 playthroughs. But if it's like, is it like full playthroughs? Because if it's like Heavy Rain, each playthrough is shorter than the last one. Because you have to do less.
Brian, didn't you get the platinum in Detroit?
No, I got it in Heavy Rain.
Oh, okay.
I am planning to go through Detroit and Heavy Rain, and there was one between.
Oh, Beyond Two Souls.
Yes, and Beyond Two Souls plat as well at some point.
Yeah. Play Beyond Two Souls next. There's no chronology, but just so you see how the technology gets better with each game. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say that. You can see the progression. All right, so Brian, what have you been playing lately?
Well, I just like literally 5 minutes ago, I just landed. Sorry, I'm playing Elite Dangerous, and I just landed back in the habitable zone of space once more.
Hmm.
And I went off. I sold my mapping data, because that's a good way to make money from the start. So keep note that I've not played this game in like months on end, and I was in space for a good like couple of weeks, just exploring, finding new systems, scanning them, and documenting them. I came back to the spaceport, and the guys online said that I should expect around 44 million in credit. In actuality, I got over 150 million in credits. So right now, I'm freaking the fuck out because I'm like, what the hell do I buy with this now? I didn't expect this money. So yeah, I'm having a great time playing Elite Dangerous. It's just fan-fucking-tastic. They updated a few things, made things better, made things slightly worse in some zones. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. I was meant to be playing Halo, but I just got the itch for Elite Dangerous. So sorry, Halo.
Oh man, yeah, Halo's waiting, man. It ain't going
Yeah.
nowhere.
So yeah, so I'm super excited. Like I'm going to spend the crap out of this cash. I actually don't know what I'm going to buy because my whole plan's been thrown out of complete whack. Because the plan was I explore, get some cash, get a bigger ship, do some mining, do some missions, like level up quite a bit, and then go back to mining and get the big boy ship. But now I have enough to afford the big boy ship, but not enough to insure it. So I may pass on that. But
Oh
either way,
boy.
yeah, Elite Dangerous. I, it's, it's just oh, there's, it's like one of those games where you just go back to it, and it's always something that you can do that's exciting. Whether it's flying around, finding like systems. I found like a binary star system. I found a star system with like three suns in it. It's like it's just wow. It's just like shit, man. Like, why does our sun just have one sun? What the fuck's wrong
Our
with it?
solar system.
Yeah, our solar system has like one sun. Like, the hell's wrong with you, man? Like,
I have a question.
what?
If
Why
it,
is it? No.
um, why is it?
Why is it?
If it's a binary star system, why are there three stars?
No,
No,
that would be a trinary star
no.
system.
I'm saying that I found one with two. I found one with three. I haven't found one with 4 stars yet, but it's just fucking insane. And then you get to like the systems that just have one star and that's it. Like, there's no planets or bodies or anything. It's just a star by itself. It's like, wow, this is really lonely.
Your money.
Yeah, I'm loving the game. I'm going to buy like a good ship and do some mining afterwards because apparently with mining you can get like 20 million, no sorry, 200 million per hour. So basically, take everything that I've been doing for the last week, condense that into 1 hour's worth of work, and apparently you can do that now. So yeah, I'm going to become a billionaire by hopefully next week.
Damn.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. Just Elite Dangerous. It just sucks me back in again. It sucks me back in to the point where I started looking at the spreadsheets. It's one of those like spreadsheet games where you can like min max the crap out of things. I mean, you think that you can min max out of like RPGs? Like, no, this is like the next step. This is like Eve Online type of spreadsheets. It's like, okay, if I don't have this part, then I have more power to the systems, and hence I can jump faster. But then I want to have this type of shield, so I can like don't take damage. It's like you can just min max the crap out of it, and it's stupid. So yeah, I have like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Chrome tabs, each with different types of data for the game.
Jeez.
Like, one of them is literally just a giant spreadsheet. Is it? Yeah. One of them is just one giant spreadsheet, and it says, okay, here's all the parts I need to have this build so that I can do what I need to do the best way possible. And yeah, it's spreadsheet the game. It's not a game, it's just a spreadsheet.
Wow.
So yeah, that's me.
Interesting. Carlos, hit me with the line from Bane. I wonder which would break first.
Hold on. I wonder what will go first. Your spirit or of your money.
Oh man, I had the line stuck in my head. I was about to do it. I was like, wait, Carlos would do that shit better, man. You know,
It's like, I need to put on my mask first before I can say this line properly.
it's just the way he said your body.
You know, I want to do that. I want to go to the supermarket because some of the markets in Austin, they require you by city ordinance to wear a mask. So I just want to walk up to people and just spout a random line from
with that weird monster like mouth mask that Brain has.
No, I just got some cheapy bullshit, you know, whatever I could get. I wish it looked like that.
Yeah, right.
Then it would be fucking funny.
Yo, you're a pretty big guy. For you.
You come in with like that his fluffy like jacket with the top.
Yo, who said that? Logically Dashing says Bane is social distancing done right. Thank you, brother.
They need one of us in the wreckage, brother.
No, brother.
The fire
Hey, it's David Giltonen from the Art Podcast who's logically dashing. What's going on,
David?
man? By the way,
Yo.
since you're here, shout out to David for having me and Chris on the latest Art Podcast where we gushed about the Streets of Rage franchise. So if you guys are listening to this on Friday, the episode is up now. So check over the Throwdown Twitter at Throwdown Show, which will be linking to it. Man, that was a really fun
Absolutely.
episode. We went crazy, man. Like that's what I love about being on a podcast. I could just be full on fucking like retro geeky, you know. Like even on Throwdown, I gotta watch I gotta be careful. I'm like motherfuckers won't even know what I'm talking about, right? I gotta rein it in a little bit, you know. Oh man, but yeah, that was a good episode. So check that out.
You can't make old references like Brand X.
Yeah. David, earlier today we were talking about Magnavox, and I was like, remember the Magnavox commercial with the guy on the sofa? And I was like, how many people remember that shit? You know? Oh man, it is good stuff. So yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to say after the show. So yeah, check out the ARG podcast. David, what episode number is it? He'll let us know. Yeah, see, he remembers that, man. So yeah, check that out. Again, I'll have it linked on my Twitter. Throwdown is gonna have it linked on its Twitter. And Chris will have it on his, so it'll be good stuff, man. Retros, good preparation for Streets of Rage 4. That's going to be a really big game. Episode 205 of the ARG podcast. And if you haven't already, subscribe to them, man. Awesome podcast. I don't really, praise other video gaming podcasts like that, but ARG podcast, definitely up there, man. Them and Gamertag Radio, like, those are, up there for me, Good stuff. And also, if you guys are listening to this in the morning, today at 5 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have our Final Fantasy VII spoiler alerts, man. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be crazy.
Back from the grave.
And for you guys who are just listening to later, catch it on SoundCloud, catch it on the YouTubes, catch it on Twitch, the usual places. You already know. And then, yeah, go ahead.
That means you guys got a lot of entertainment. You got some ARG podcasts, you got some Throwdown, and then you got a little bit of spoiler if you haven't.
You got the Michael Jordan documentary.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff, man. All right. Yeah, and then the last thing, just to bring it up again, if you guys have not already, consider donating to the GoFundMe Manny set up for his mom's funeral and all that. That would be really appreciated. What was going on now, like it definitely helps. Like, but again, if you can't contribute monetarily, even spreading the word would be great too.
Yeah, guys. I mean, also, I don't know. I know I don't get to thank everybody who gave condolences. Thank you so much for the kind words. I got a lot of nice, comments and stuff like that, and a couple of people that I didn't expect would called me. Had read Infamy. That she didn't call me, but she did contact me privately, and so did Hip Hop Gamer and Young Yeah. Also, called me up and expressed his condolences. And I just wanted to thank you all. It means a lot.
That's awesome, Manny. David says all the love to you, Emilio. So sorry to hear the news.
Thanks, man.
It's awesome, man. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for us, man. So thank you for watching and listening. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
As always, guys, I will see you next time.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Deuces.
And Brian Manjoma.
I just found out that you can put a spoiler on your spaceship.
Oh, man, you're going to be blinging right now, son.
No, you can put a spoiler on your spaceship. It has no wheels. It makes no sense.
Hey, man, why not? YOLO, man, YOLO, son.
Isn't the purpose of a spoiler to make it more aerodynamic?
Yeah, it's to increase drag and force the whole body down so it goes faster. Down on what? You're in space.
Hey, man, live it up, man. Anyway, we'll see you again. Remember, Friday, spoiler for Final Fantasy, 5 p.m. And, of course, we'll be back on Sunday. Oh, and, of course, our podcast, episode 205, is going to be up on Friday as well. And next week, some Streets of Rage streams, man. We've got a lot of stuff coming for you guys, man. All right, peace out.
Later, guys.
Peace has cost you strength.